In today's video, I'm showing you how you can make soap at home without mixing lye. Now, if you are a handmade business owner and especially a soap making person, you'll know you actually can't make soap without lye. But a good workaround for this, if you aren't familiar with lye or you're just not ready to take that step, as it is a dangerous chemical to work with, a good workaround or kind of beginning step in that direction is to work with melt and pour soap. So just to make it very clear, right off the break, you cannot make soap without lye, but you can use a melt and pour soap base so you can avoid mixing the lye in your home or in your studio. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Tutorials, it's one of my favorite kind of videos to film. So what we are going to do today is I'm going to walk you through step-by-step tutorial style how I make this. So here, these are organic orange slices that I purchased from Etsy. There are tons to choose from. As always, don't mind my nails, although I feel like at this point, especially if you're returning, you know by now my nails are always atrocious. That's why I normally wear gloves. But anyway, this soap here seems to be getting quite a bit of attention. A lot of people are curious about it, so I thought I would make this video today. If you are a cold process soap maker, something like this would be super easy for you. This is strictly for my melt and pour guys and gals. Now, melt and pour is a little bit more finicky. It's harder, not more finicky, that's a bad way to describe it. Melt and pour is harder to make unique. That's what I meant to say. Cold process soap, you can do all kinds of things. You can add different things. You can design different ways, but melt and pour soap is kind of limited in that way. So this tutorial is for all of you looking to make your melt and pour soap a little bit more unique. Here's the tutorial. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and grab all of our materials. We're going to need fragrance oil, Lysol wipes, a scale, silicone mold, pitcher. I'm using this fragrance oil here. It is from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and it is the pomegranate and sweet orange fragrance oil. Now, quick side note about this fragrance oil, it is absolutely magical. If you are looking for a very just clean, fresh, non-holiday themed soap, then I would highly recommend this fragrance oil here. It just smells like, it just smells clean, and I really like that. It's also a great fragrance if you don't like to be overly feminine or overly masculine in your scent profiles for your shop. It's just a very good, neutral, clean, fresh smell. I love the smell. It smells so good. Okay, but anyway, back to the tutorial. I've got my dried orange slices here. Again, I ordered these from Etsy, and they do carry tons of different fruits on there, so you can pick whichever one really floats your boat. We're gonna need our melt and pour soap base, which is what I have wrapped here in this blue, and then a couple of pitchers. Heat-proof pitchers, I should say. All right, so we need to first cut our base and put it, our first step here is going to be cutting the base and measuring it out so we have enough melted base for each of our bars of soap. So here I'm just cutting it and then weighing it out. You can melt your soap base with either the double broiler method or in the microwave. For me, I generally use the microwave, not always, but I do usually just use the microwave as it is faster and less to clean up, to be quite honest with you. Once you measure out your base and put it in your heat-proof containers, you can melt it in the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time until it is fully melted. And then I always just take my little spatula and kind of stir it in between each of those 30-second intervals. While that's melting, I'm gonna go ahead and take my orange slices. They came in a full slice, so I'm just checking to see if they fit into my mold. That's definitely something you want to do ahead of time. You don't want your base to be poured into your mold before you figure that out. So I'm just kind of arranging it, cutting it how I need in order to be ready once the soap base is melted. And just like that, our soap base has melted. So our next step here, we're just going to add our fragrance oil into both containers. Again, I have them separated so I can make one of the containers orange and one of them just keep plain white. When adding your fragrance oil, always make sure that your melted base or whatever you are using is under that fragrance's flash point and that you are using a skin safe percentage. All reputable suppliers will have that information, if not directly on the bottle, then under the product description on their website. Do not miss this step. It's really, really important to keeping you and your customers, their bodies and skin safe. Then I'm going to mix in my mica powders for the orange. And I just went for a really, really light color orange. I don't want like a bold, you know, like jack-o'-lantern orange or anything, just like a nice light orange. And then if you wanted to, you could add some white colorant to your white base. I just kind of left it how it was, you know, just kind of seemed like no big deal to leave it how it was. Next up, we're going to be slowly pouring in both at the same time, making sure that there are even, or doing your best to make sure there are even amounts of each color in each mold cavity. Being careful not to overfill like I did here. Okay, so here's our next step. As you can see, before we place those orange slices on, I waited a few, gosh, I want to say a few minutes, but not many, like less than 5, just for that top layer to kind of have that dried film on top of it, okay? If you put it in when the bar is fully melted and the top of it is still melted, then there's a really good chance that your orange slices will fall to the bottom and then you won't be able to see them. So wait until it has like that semi-dried film over the top, and then we're just gonna really, really carefully place our orange slices on. Another quick tip here is just be really careful where you place it down. Once it's there, you really don't want to move it. That will just add, you know, more lines to the top of your soap. So we're just very carefully putting it down and then leaving it alone. You might notice a little bit of spilling over the side. That's okay. If you see it, just leave it there because we can clean that up later once the full bar has dried. Now, I unmolded these after about a day. It doesn't really take that long. You just want to make sure that you're, you know, it's obviously fully solidified and cured before you take it out of that mold. And again, here, as you've already saw from the intro, is the finished bar. It's just almost dropped it. It's very, very nice. I love this bar. The smell is great, the lather is great, and it's also a triple butter soap base, so that means that it has shea, mango, and cocoa butter in the base, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a really nice soap. I enjoy it. The only thing to add to this is make sure when you're labeling this soap that you put on there that people should not ingest those orange slices. I know it sounds weird, but you do want to make sure that you protect yourself from anyone out there that might have some, you know, ill will or anything like that, unfortunately. That is how I made my dried orange soap from beginning to end with all of my tips included. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know. I, again, really like making melt and pour soap tutorials and am always interested to see who likes them and who prefers other types of soap content. So definitely let me know your opinion on that down below. I know you soap makers are not shy, so I'd love to hear about it. And if you're interested in any specific tutorial moving forward, please let me know that as well. I love making tutorials. I think they're a lot of fun. If you're still here, you've watched the entire video, I really hope that you subscribe to the channel for more of this content. It only takes a second and it really, really means a lot to me personally. So thank you so much if you choose to hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next week.